It was a feat of epic proportions. 3 men set out to climb a giant rock formation rising out of rough seas off southern Tasmania. They managed to reach the summit and nearly 40 years on haven't lost that adventurous spirit. Tamara Glumac reports.
They were young, fit and fearless when they scaled the seemingly impossible. In the spring of 1975, Mendel Tillemer, Glenn Kowalik and Les Wood climbed the 122-metre high Candlestick on the Tasman Peninsula. They were the first to ever ascend the sheer peak from sea level.
It's such a majestic pinnacle rising out of the sea, standing there by itself. And it's the sort of thing that all climbers aspire to do, because it's that column of rock all by itself. There's a summit to be gained, and it's the challenge that climbers go out to find.
Nearly 4 decades on, memories of the expedition haven't faded, nor their sense of adventure.
I remember mostly the camaraderie of the whole trip, because it took a whole crew of people to provide us with the support to get gear and that there.
The movement on the rock, just the place you're in, and the challenge of doing things that are a little bit on the edge.
Back in 1975, the ABC filmed the climber's Candlestick journey. The documentary took in the highs and lows of the trip, including Mendel Tillemer's treacherous swim to the base of the rock.
Part of the problem is you get quite a fair decent swell, and I can remember just trying to put a hand jam into the rock to hold yourself up, but the next wave would come and just wash you back off again.
Eventually he managed to get the rope to the base of the Candlestick, where it would bridge the gap between mainland Tasmania.
He's exhausted, battered, and despite the protection of the life jacket, all the skin's been ripped from his chest.
Still, that didn't deter Mendel Tillemer and the other climbers from the precarious ascent.
It's a bit of a challenge in itself, me against the rock sort of thing. It's nothing more exciting, I think, than moving up a steep bit of warm sunlit rock, perhaps with a bit of sea below you, or just a nice steep drop below you.
The climb to the top of the Candlestick took more than 5 hours.
They've made it. The Candlestick's been beaten. Tired and bruised, with muscles feeling like jelly, they're finally on top.
It's a moment Glenn Kowalik still remembers vividly.
I heard Mendel over there singing and humming to himself and really happy, and we were all pretty happy to be there. It was a beautiful sunny day, and then we knew the next job was to get down, which is no mean feat in itself.
It was an achievement that brought with it a renewed sense of adventure.
It actually inspired me to go off and do some of the harder wall climbs in Tasmania. In the next 3 or 4 years, with other good friends of mine, we actually climbed on quite remote cliffs in southwest Tasmania and in the Western Highlands.
Illness and injury put a stop to Glenn Kowalik's climbing, but the 60-year-old is still a keen bushwalker who works as a wilderness guide. At 65, Mendel Tillemer is still climbing.
I've still got reasonable knees, I've still got a reasonable back, touch wood, and I realise that I've probably only got, another decade or thereabouts where I can actually continue to do the walking and scrambling that I love to do, and while I can, I still will.
Since conquering the Candlestick, he's climbed all over the world, including the Himalayas in Nepal and mountains and volcanoes in Indonesia. Only last year, he climbed the Dolomites in Italy.
I've lost count of the number of mountains I've climbed. In Tassie, there's still heaps of really lovely wild spots that I haven't been to yet, still on my to-do list.
It's a passion Mendel Tillemer knows isn't without risks.
I've had a few near misses in climbing, and it makes you realise that life is quite tenuous and it's quite precious. And just teaches you to continue to be careful, even when pushing the limits.
But it's those limits that have kept life interesting for this veteran climber.
You never lose your sense of adventure. There's always nooks and crannies, always beautiful things to see, things to do, and things are always a challenge.